The problem, I think, when I said new is it was looking for the status and I had defaulted it, so I'll fix that. But again, if I go to edit, it's the same. White fields are required, blue fields are optional. So notice that, you know, I don't need a nickname, I don't need a birth date. The age you can never change because it's calculated. Sex we need. We don't need the relationship, although we would like it. Right? The same with the marital status. And if I was entering a new one, if I check that it's the same as the family, it brings this information forward. All right. If I uncheck that, it would allow me to enter a new one. And now I could, here's the son, but if I go through, here's the mother, so we have a cell phone number for her. Right. Got a cell phone for the father. Sometimes we get a business number. If we do, we record it. And so if
We usually have what, the cell numbers, work number, home number.
those
And
are
emergency contacts.
on the registration form. Yeah, they don't always put them in. You know,
Correct.
you know, and they don't always have them. You know.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'd really try to check there. Make sure we have an emergency contact.
Oh
at
yes,
least in
we
case.
need that. So now if I go to, let me go back to the Anthony, right? He's the son, right? Now if I need to enter his religious ed grade, which we're going to have to do for everybody as they, you know, as the registration. So I go to religious ed, and it brings up the religious ed activity form.
Oh.
And I can, and since there wasn't any, it automatically has it set to enter a new one. If there had been already religious ed activity, it would have just brought that information up. I could have still added a new one. Although, of course, for the kids, generally they're not in more than one grade. But, so here I can enter.
Only in the case of the third and second and third and fourth grade.
Yeah.
On occasion.
Yeah. So, here, if I can use the drop down. This is all of the activities. They could be an assistant, they could be a catechist, they could be a coordinator, a monitor, or a student. And I'm going to take test out. That was for my testing. But so I can pick it out. Now, if I know it's a student, if I just say student, I just hit the S, it fills it in.
Oh.
So it's quick, right? If it's a catechist, just put in C and it fills it in.
Wow.
Of course, if it's coordinated, you'd have to put in the CO. But so it, again, it makes entry, once you get used to it, it makes it very easy. Now, if it's a student, it's going to ask you what grade. So now I can pick up, and I've got I can pick off my grades. Again, if it was like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I could just put in 6 and it will give me 6th grade. But of course, if it was 3rd grade, I got to tell it whether it's Sunday or Tuesday. So if I just said 3rd, it's I got to say no, it's 3rd grade Tuesday, right? You know, whatever. Or you can just pick it off the list.
Yeah.
It's very easy, you know. Then if there's any special
You
note,
get all the third graders anyway, so once you pick the name, it will tell you. Correct? In other words, if you pick the child's name Sunday or Tuesday, it's still going to show you Sunday or Tuesday. You don't have to pick the day,
No,
is what you're saying, just the student's name.
Well, I've already got the student's name, and from the student I came to their activity, right? And I'm now putting in their activity, and I'd say it's a student and they're going to be in 3rd grade, Tuesday.
Okay.
If it was Sunday, you know, I just pick off 3rd grade Sunday. And it tells us, you know, it's Sunday morning. So, and then I can put in if there's any note, you know, about special ed or allergy or whatever, I can put it in here. All right. I'm not going to, but that's how we would do it. Once you've done it and you save it, then you can go back to the member data form or all the way back to the main menu. Right? So, you know, if you're doing, if it's the new family and they've got more than one kid, you'd probably want to go back to member data and then pick the next child. Otherwise, you could go by all the way back to the menu and start with another family. So, so that's how we would enter data. You know, it's family data, member data. Within member data, I can remember. All right. I guess we still have somebody. Here's somebody. I guess maybe we still are into this past year. I had to set a date to where the year flips, and maybe I did it at the end of June.
Yeah.
Probably. And so entering the ministry data is exactly the same. If it's, you know, if they're going to be ministry, I would go to ministry activity, and that brings up the ministry form. And again, a ministry, there's the type of ministry, because it's a ministry like a Eucharistic minister, lector, choir member, or it could be a committee, could be a group like a Bible group, study group, could be an adult faith formation. Adult faith formation is separate from the main kids faith formation because
Well, that would be our
it was
CIA
totally
then,
different. Yeah, so it didn't make sense to combine them. And then once you've selected the ministry, then it gives me which ministries am I going to put into, all right? And I can select the ministry. If I selected committee, then the list here is just committees, right? If I selected group, then it's the groups. Now, we probably, OLM doesn't have all these groups, but, you know, set they're for future use. Then you pick the ones you have, right? Here's the breaking open the word that I do during Lent.
Okay.
So, again, it's exactly similar to putting in the ministry, putting in faith formation. So, any questions so far?
There's a lot of information in there.
Yeah, but you know, and again, you know, when we get to doing it, we can do